get up here and clear out the extraction. Get out of here. Or to stay here and shoot me. Dick. Now you're out. No, doggo, bad. Oh no! Extra. Well, that was a fast run. All right. Yeah. Hey, what is up, guys? Mr. J313 here from Bro Gaming Official, and today I am bringing you my Mass Effect Andromeda Salarian Operator build guide for gold. Gold build guide, guys. Gold. Now, I am naming this build guide the Infinity Salarian Operator. Yes, Infinity. Weird name, but I will get to it why I've named that. So real quick, we're going to jump right into the customization. I run the Vanquisher. I have the Vanquisher 3. Now, he does have negative 5% recharge speed, and that does hurt him. If you have something to take that down to 100%, that is perfect. This will make the build even better, but I sadly am stuck at 5%, but it is okay. Now, I'm going to jump right here. I am running the thermal clip storage equipment on him. I have the Juggernaut shield, and I personally feel like thermal clip storage is better for him being a sniper build. So, that's personal preference, but I personally feel like it's better just to have the extra ammo for him. So, on consumables, that's really, run whatever consumable you want. If I'm going to run consumable, I typically am going to run a sniper rifle amp on him and a targeting VI amp to get extra weak point damages such as headshots or other weak points for certain enemies. So let's jump over to skills real quick. I have gotten him twice now, so I have an extra 3 skill points. If you have only gotten him once, ignore the fact that I have overload in 2, the second skill in 2. If you've only gotten him one time, you will only have overload 1, so you'll have 6, 6, 1, 4, and 4. That's how you'll have him if you've only gotten him one time. So let's jump into it real quick. Invasion, go all 3, then bottom, top, and top. I'll go ahead and go through them and then explain to you why I picked it like that. So, shield boost, you'll go first 3, bottom, top, bottom. Overload, doesn't matter, just forget about that skill in this build. It is not a focus for this build. In offensive tech, you're going to go all 3, then top. Support system is the exact same, all 3, and then top. So, we'll jump right into Invasion real quick, why I skilled it this way. So, Invasion, it took me a while to understand how the skill actually works, but once I got a hang of it and understood how it actually works and the fundamentals of this skill, it is an amazing skill to have that only the Salarian Operator has right now that I know of. I haven't looked through real quick, but that is his key focus, is having Invasion. Now, why it's so good is whenever you infect an enemy, whenever you have the bottom, it will infect 3 enemies near his location, and then over time, they will spread. Now, the initial duration is 15 seconds, but I have it upgraded a little bit for an extra 20%, or yeah, extra 40% duration and a 20% spread radius, so you can reach some of the further away enemies. Now, the extra 20%, that will only come up to, at base it is 6 meters, that will come up to 7.2 meters, so it's a little bit extra. In feet, that's about an extra 5 foot roughly. And then I went Virulence. Now, this shouldn't even be a contest between the two. Sabotage, in my opinion, is completely worthless whenever you compare it to Virulence, because whenever you infect an enemy and they hit 15% health, they will instantly explode and like fly up in the air, and it's really fucking hilarious. And then it will instantly damage everyone around them. It's not a lot of damage, but it's a considerable amount, and then it will affect them with the virus. So they instantly get debuffed, and then you're doing more damage on them, and you can end up infecting everyone on the map if they all cluster up, which probably won't ever happen, but it's a possibility. Now, shield boost, another thing. Not a lot of characters have this, so it's a very key point of this build. Now, why I named it the Infinity build is, how this build will work is you can continuously use this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. As soon as you use it, whenever it's done, you can start using it again because of the low recharge and high duration of this skill, how I have the build set out. So, why this is such a good ability is it has a small radius, so you can even use it on your teammates. It's not just a personal use, but Whenever you use it, it is going to instantly restore some of your shields, and then over time restore more of them. So, with down, on number 4, it is a plus 35% shield per second, top, plus 30% recharge, and then bottom, an extra 150% duration. That is amazing, because you will continuously recharge your shields. And for a sniper build, it's nice for whenever you're getting shot at from other snipers or enemies further away. I have personally run the Salarian Operator with an assault rifle, and I personally don't feel like it's better, but shield boost really comes in handy on that kind of build, because he's out in the thick of it running with his team, especially getting them their shields back. But I personally feel like he runs better as a sniper for higher damage output with invasion and being able to keep at a further distance from other enemies. So then we go to overload. Like I said, I personally don't feel like this is a key point to have in his build, because all I use it for is to stun certain enemies or do a little bit of damage to shields. But really, other than stunning enemies, it doesn't have a place in this build, but it's nice to have it there. Now on offensive tech, this is all about getting extra damage and duration to all of your abilities. Now the 8 weapon damage, it really helps when you're using a sniper. Just any extra damage will always help. The power damage, all that only helps is just a little bit of extra damage on invasion. But the key point in having it at 4 is the extra duration. That's really what helps this be the Infinity build for shield boost. And then on support systems, you get a lot of sustainability up until 4. And once you hit 4, it's all about that effect duration. You're going to get longer shield boost times for regening your shields, as well as a longer invasion time to infect more enemies, and just a longer debuff period. So we're going to jump into some gameplay now, guys, and I'm going to show you why I've named this the Infinity build and what makes it so damn good. So I hope you guys enjoy this gameplay. I'm going to continue talking and highlighting the key points of the gameplay and of this build. We have liftoff in 3, 2, 1, fire! Okay, guys, sorry about that. Real quick, before we go any further on this build guide, I just want to say I apologize for the popping in the mic. I'm looking at getting a pop filter very soon. Hopefully I'll have that before the next video. If not, it'll be after that video. I know that having one is very crucial, and it's very annoying hearing that pop, and I apologize for that. I'm going to get one very soon. But we're going to go ahead and continue with the build now. So, like I was saying, I'm calling this the Infinity build because of you can continuously use your shield boost and invasion. Now, I hear a lot of people, they'll ask me when I'm in games what invasion actually is and what it really does, because sometimes I'll see it, and when I'm playing with other people that aren't my friends or just randoms online, they'll kind of mess up the synergy with invasion and how it actually works. Now, I'll explain real quick how it works. So, invasion, whenever you fire it at an enemy, it will infect them with an invasive VI program. So basically, it's infecting them with a virus. As you can see, they're kind of moving around like they're getting hacked. I don't know. It's a virus. It's an AI that's fucking with them. So what it is going to give that enemy who just got the virus, it's going to give them a debuff. At base level, it's a 25% debuff. Now, that's a defensive debuff, so health, shields, armor, whatever, they're gonna take more damage. Their damage resistance is being dropped by 25%. That's the best way I can put it. So that's how it works. Now, with it spreading, here's how it really comes into effect. Whenever that enemy who is infected gets close enough to another enemy within the 6-meter radius, they will slowly begin to infect other enemies around them. Now, on the first skill for 4, how it infects 3, now, whenever you initially fire it, initially it will only infect the 2 people at the beginning, but with 3, it'll infect up to 3 around him within that 6-meter radius instantly. And if 3 guys are in a line and you hit the one in the middle, then it'll infect the other 2, and then anyone around those 2 that aren't close enough to the center, the guy that you initially infected, it'll infect outwards, if you know what I'm saying. It'll have a bigger radius because there's more people. Now, it lasts for 15 seconds, and with the added duration, those guys running around the map who are still infected will infect everyone else that they get close enough to. So potentially you could have all of the enemies within a wave infected, and that's just so much damage resistance that they don't have anymore. So you're gonna do more damage to them. One tip that I did receive when using it a while back was always infect the biggest one you can find. Now I wasn't always completely sure why they said that, because from my time using it, I've noticed that it's just infecting someone who's in a group, because especially like if it's a sharpshooter. Now, infecting a sharpshooter, if they're in the back, you know, they're not really going to be around anyone else. I don't really recommend that. But in berserkers or other enemies who charge you, berserker, pariah, the dog enemies, or anything like that that's going to get up close to you, it's not always best to infect them, because if they run away from the cluster of enemies, then that's just less people you're going to infect. And Invasion has quite the long recharge rate. It is, I believe, 24 seconds at base level. That's a pretty high recharge time, and if you don't have 100% recharge, you know, it's going to be even longer. But the build kind of helps with that. So you got to kind of be careful with who you infect, because you want to keep as many people infected as possible, because that's just more damage. But whenever that enemy gets down to 15% health, they're dead. It's over with Virulence. Only if you have Virulence. That's the great thing about that, is if you get an enemy down to 15% health, they explode and will infect everyone within that radius. So it's a really great skill. It took me a while to actually understand how it worked, but once I got a hold of it, it's such an amazing skill to have. And later within the gameplay, you'll even see on the kill feed that it is my name for like 10 kills in a row, and it's all within Invasion. And it is so amazing to have, especially like whenever it's a clustered map like on Firebase 0 right here. That corridor, whenever they all jump out at the beginning of the wave, if you start infecting someone, it'll eventually get everyone right there. And it is so nice to have, because you'll just start killing them one after the other. They'll start exploding, and it looks fucking hilarious. And it's just great, because you can really control a crowd with that very nicely. So we'll move past that now. That's pretty much my tips on Invasion and why it's so nice to have. So as you can see right here, I'm not using the Vanquisher, I'm using the Widow. I have the Widow at 9. That's really personal preference on what sniper you want to use. I don't have the Black Widow in multiplayer, so you'll never see me using it, but it is another nice option to use. But I use the Widow and the Vanquisher mostly. Between the two, if I had to pick a favorite, I would have to say use the Vanquisher if you have it. Even at level 1, a level 1 Vanquisher versus a level 10 Widow, it's just the Vanquisher having 4 rounds in a mag versus the 1 for the Widow. If you miss your shot with the Widow, like you will see me do quite often, it's punishing, because that guy's still there doing damage to you or a teammate. But with the Vanquisher, doing less damage, you can still pick up the kill because of the extra ammo. So, you know, it's really personal preference. With the Widow, you're definitely doing more damage, especially when it comes to these berserkers that run at us. You know, you'll see me doing a lot more damage to them than versus the Vanquisher later on in some of the other gameplay that I'm going to show off. But, you know, it's all personal preference. I haven't really used the Lanet much, but I've heard it's a pretty good gun, but I haven't used it yet, so I'll have to wait and see how that works out whenever I do use it. But, you know, like I said, the Widow, the Black Widow, and the Vanquisher, they're probably the top 3 that I would use. The Ashare, you know, you could definitely use that too. It's going to be the same as the Widow, so there's really no difference there. It's just whichever you have is a higher level, use it if you prefer those single-shot rifles doing a lot of damage. You know, it's all personal preference. A lot of people, they wonder why I would only run a sniper. It's because I really don't have a problem only running a sniper. Some people who run sniper builds, they like to run a pistol with it. I don't do that because it's just extra weight. And seeing as I already have a -5 recharge, and with the Widow, it is a -2, so it's not that bad. But whenever you add another pistol on top of that, you know, even with just a Predator, with it only weighing 3 pounds, I'm assuming, you know, it'll be back up to -5 with the Widow, and it'll be at -8 with the Vanquisher. So I don't ever have a problem only running a sniper, really with any build, so I just keep it to a sniper and I'll leave it at that because, you know, you have your team there to back you up, especially in this gameplay right here. I'll have an Angara Insurgent who's really just laying down a good defense. The only thing I'm having to really worry about is whoever's coming in on the side, and usually whenever I play with an Angara Insurgent and I'm actually talking to them, I will typically tell them, hey, you know, stack up some defense on that left side so that we don't have to worry about it. You know, throw your turret down there, throw your mines down there. But that's not essential to this build, so we're going to go ahead and move past that. So we're going to go back. Something that a lot of people are probably going to be wondering is Infinity build. So how does the shield boosting work, and how do you keep it going? So with all the added duration time and the recharge speed, so whenever you pop shield boost, it's going to instantly get you shields back within anyone in the radius as well. So if you're clustered around your team, you know you can give them all their shields back, and over time it will continuously give more shields. So whenever the effect stops, it'll already be recharged, so you can use it. When it stops, use it again. So that really helps if you're having to run around or if you're being invaded like this. You know, my shields are already back, so I don't have a problem there. And it's still going. It's just recharged. You know, I can use it again, but I don't have to at this point because I'm not being shot at, but I could if I needed to. That's the great thing about this is even though he's a sniper, you can still get snuck up on real easily, especially if you're on other maps. You know, Firebase Magma is a big one. There's not a lot of spots that you can just sit and hunker down. There is one really nice spot. I don't have any footage of it in this game, in this video, but it is really nice. But another one is Firebase Sandstorm. That is another one that the initial footage, you know, that's a lot more difficult to just sit there because of how the rooftops are laid out. You're gonna have to run between rooftops, and it's a really nice skill for him to have, being able to recharge his shields all the time whenever he's having to run around. But Overload, like I was saying, I don't really have much of a use for it in this build. You know, I'm not a big fan of that skill anyways. It's nice that he has it being as a sniper build, because if you got an enemy who's in cover and won't come out and you're like, man, why you gotta be a bitch? Well, if you just use Overload on him, then he'll snap right up out of cover and you can get that headshot and he's dead. Or if you got someone running up on you like that Anarchist, you can just stun him and then get the headshot. It's a really nice ability to have, but it's definitely not a focal point for this build. So that's all I have to say about this build, guys. It's really straightforward. If you have the Salarian Operator, I definitely recommend trying him out. Try this build out. Let me know down in the comments how it works for you. But real quick, before we get to the end of the video, guys, I want to say something real quick. If you're enjoying our content, please be sure to check out our Patreon account. We're just getting it set up. There's still some things I need to work out, especially some of the rewards, but I have a few of them set up right now. So yeah, guys, like I said, you know, go ahead and check it out if you want to subscribe. It'll help us move this channel along, do more videos, and all around get a lot more content out to you guys if you're enjoying it. And a great way to make some new friends, play with new people who are as passionate about this as we are. So you can check that out, guys. We've been getting a lot of views here recently and hoping to get our subscriber count up as well as our view count, but it's a learning experience and we're still new to the YouTube world, guys. But on that note, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you want to see next. And on that note, guys, I will catch you on the next one.